For a second straight year, these two teams meet in round one of Major League Rugby. We're underway in San Diego. And an early moment of opportunity, a knock-on, as our first whistle from Lex Weiner, who worked 11 matches last year here in MLR. 5 times these two teams have met in the postseason for 5 of their first 17 meetings. It was last year, though, in the postseason up in Tequila. Seattle ended the run for San Diego after they had just met in week 18. And so this is actually the 3rd straight match San Diego is facing their longtime bitter rivals who happened to again end their season last year. Seattle would go on to the final, which would be played here over at Snapdragon down the road against the Free Jacks, who joined Seattle now as your only teams who have won multiple titles. So our first scrum here early on. And a chance to strike early with Dan Creel, that familiar 12 on his back. Yesterday turned 31, the South African. Rodney Yona. It looks like a break here for the Legion. And it's Richard Judd who's back for his second tour with San Diego. Last year went back home to New Zealand, suited up for the Hurricanes. A lot of teams got to shake off some rust yesterday, Colin, and some thrilling matchups. We saw some upsets. Seattle, as well as they played against San Diego over the years, they have struggled here, understandably, in the 6-1-9. An early line out. This is always a test of just how much preseason repetition you got in. This is one of the last things to really form for a team, but solid work here by the Legion. Right into the teeth of that Seawolves grouping. It's Hugh it is Hugh Roach, the 32-year-old Australian. And now testing that perimeter with Awake. The Kiwi now in his 4th year. Little bit of daylight as Christian Poitevin, optimistic. Can the Seawolves eventually force San Diego into an error on one of these phases? Creel. They're 22 meters out. After Legion were able to force a Seattle turnover on one end. It's now a chance to capitalize on the other. Ryan James. McClutchy. Looking for a little bit of support. 3 meters out. Chance for the Legion. Do we have a grounding? We do. San Diego strikes first against the Seawolves.
What an incredible passage of play from the San Diego Legion team, 1 through 15. Looks like everybody had a touch on the ball, but we got to talk about the 10, McClutchy. He's an attacking 10, meaning he's going to take to the ball line. Nice little show and go dummy. He's got the pace and the strength to get through. He fights and gets that roll, gets a great placement back, a little shove there in the breakdown, and darting back to the open side, getting over Poitevin, gets the score. But it was an absolute onslaught from San Diego and great continuity. Maybe that 7's fitness coming to play here for San Diego early on.
Just like that, the 4th-year man, Christian Poitevin, matches his try total from a year ago. The 26-year-old Australian, so versatile for this Legion group. Conversion unsuccessful, 5-0. It gives us a chance to toss it down to a man who never misses a hit down on the sidelines, Dallin Stanford.
Yeah.
Dallin, we'll check back in with you in just a moment. Just lost you right before that. I jinxed him. Still working out some early kinks here in the new campaign.
Yeah, we had Seattle come down there in the first opening kickoff. They did a great job stealing that ball, getting it back. But that turnover in the tackle, I know they struggled with that last season. They're going to want to go ahead and clean that up and limit those turnovers in the contact area. An opportunity here to get on the front foot.
Colin, surely that can't be former Dallas Jackal Dewey Coates is starting at hooker for Seattle after he put up 5 tries against them last year early in the season. Again, Seattle ended Dallas's fairy tale run in the postseason last year and promptly added a hooker and a prop as Coates and Juan Pablo Saiz now make Seattle their home to strengthen that front row. They're going to love their time together at Starfire.
Yeah, absolute, very, very dangerous and athletic forward pack for Seattle, adding to their already aggressive platform. Looking forward to see what these newcomers bring to the squad.
Colin, let's take a look at your keys to this match for both clubs.
Yeah, you got to take a look at San Diego. Set piece execution so critical for them. Lineouts were a great spot for them last season. They want to continue turning territory into points. They need to go ahead and get in that red zone, turn them in. And already you're seeing Seattle limit the turnovers. They've had 2, 1 missed throw at the lineout, then a turnover in contact. They've got to bring that count down. And penalties. They're one of the most penalized teams last year. They just need to up the discipline and make sure they maintain possession.
Early surge from O.J. Noah, making his way over from New Orleans, the 35-year-old from New Zealand. As now Malembe Mpofu, nicknamed Malamborghini, looking more like a tank. Up into the San Diego sky. No problem for Lincoln McClutchy. Boy, he had a huge try for Seattle in that round 8 against Seattle for that round 18 comeback last year. He's going to have that 10 on his back more often than not.
Yeah, McClutchy is just all around one of your best rugby players here in the MLR. He's got every tool in the toolbox. You saw him break through a couple of times. His game management vision is superb, but also right there, he can ladder up and catch a high ball. The guy's got all the skills.
San Diego, the most successful regular season club we've seen through the first 7 years in MLR. Seattle, no team has won more shields than the Seawolves. Their 2 titles finally matched last year by New England. So 22 out here for the line out for the Legion. Into Holloway. Again, that's Tion Lutz in stride. See if the Seawolves defense can stiffen up. Numbers on the wing. There's your support, and there's your insurance from Ryan James.
You just gotta love that from San Diego. The line-out play, so great. Roach, a great throw in, and he loops around. You get a strike in the center of the field, primary phase ball, but watch the back end. Here's the pop into Roach. Roach finds a runner in there in Tion Lutz. And right here on the left side, no numbers for Seattle. They get one more strike on the open side, and then it's a bounce call. They've got an overlap on the outside, and then the 6 pointed in, pulling in the defender, releasing the outside in the number 11, Ryan James, and getting the dot down try. There's a great heads-up play, reading numbers and taking advantage of what's in front of them.
It'll take a moment before they can attempt the conversion here with a player being addressed in the line of the kick. McClutchy did successfully convert his first, and we'll look to go 2 for 2. 14-0 start for San Diego. Now a chance to check in with Dallin Stanford.
Well, I tell you what, the sun is always shining here, particularly with champagne rugby like that. The home crowd absolutely loving being back in the cauldron. They're so close to the action. The players love it. And chatting to John Manenti, his 7 style is in full effect, as you can see, with the width play. They're here to play some brilliant rugby this year. A new chapter has begun.
Dallin Stanford style is in full effect here in San Diego. In our 10th minute, San Diego's already halfway to the try bonus point, as they've already punched it in twice against Seattle. And John Manenti coming over, taking over already a very successful regular season program that's just wondering what it'll take to lift its first shield. San Diego's hosted 3 times that final matchup. They've only been featured in one of those.
Yeah, this is a good chance for Seattle. Knock on in the contact error from Seattle. Scrum time just outside the 22. Last year, Seattle was absolutely deadly off primary phase at the scrum, scoring 11 tries off this primary set piece. They really think this is one of the best balls they can get.
Yeah, 11 tries originating from the scrum was the best in all of MLR. Helped get Seattle into that final last year here against New England. So J.P. Smith, whose first year with Seattle was that 2019 season in which they claimed their second crown. As Dan Creel again, the 31-year-old. South African, and a little sloppy play again on their second visit into San Diego territory, but it'll stay with the Seawolves, but not for long.
Another turnover in the tackle. They just got to clean that up. A little ball security. It's hard when that ball doesn't go to hand after that primary phase. They just got to clean that up and execute.
Well, Alan Clark, again, will probably echo the sentiment that J.P. Smith told us earlier this week, and that's saying, look, it's week one. You're going to have mistakes. Got to focus on us. But J.P. Smith said, got to be perfect at the things that don't require talent in terms of your attitude, your work rate, your focus. Cannot make sloppy errors. That has plagued Seattle here early on.
Yeah, such a great job by Coach Clarkey. Just going ahead and maintaining that focus. You know you're trying to implement all the things you did in the preseason, some new guys, finding your shape in the live fire exercise. They've got to go ahead and make improvements as this game comes along.
It's McClutchy who will try to improve some real estate here, sending this one back to the Seattle 22. And the tackle from Pete Lopetti, who's now going up against his former teammates. He was on the bench for Seattle in that playoff matchup last year when they ended San Diego's hopes for a deep playoff run. And a return serve from the right foot of McClutchy, and this is a good one. It's going to drift all the way through.
Not a bad kick from McClutchy. You thought it was going to go out the back end there, but sits right up. McClutchy again, having a big moment for his squad.
Ultimately, Devon Rousseau just has to down it. Such a great atmosphere. San Diego's among the best in all of MLR with their pre-match festivities. Awake in stride, able to hit Hokafonu, one of the newcomers, the Australian. Little dummy from Roach. Lopetti against his former side. It'll spill out of the fingertips of Tion Lutz.
Yeah, you saw the double clutch pass there from Lopetti, trying to manipulate the defense a bit, just too hard in that little tight passing channel to Lutz.
And Smith back to the boot of Yona. Rodney the Rock Yona. Capped 10 times by Samoa. Awake back into the teeth of that Seawolves defense. Well, nothing would surprise us here today after some of the outcomes we saw yesterday, including Chicago going to Houston and having a convincing win. And how about some deja vu on the perimeter? The circus has returned to Torero. Jed Holloway dots down the third for the Legion.
The baby giraffe stretching his legs on the corner. 7 style for San Diego, playing the width of the pitch, and that's just beautiful from San Diego. Taking a look here, nice ball and a great move there in the interior by Talea. A little bit of slow ball, but coming out to McClutchy, the little spot ball at the back, and it's just numbers. Nice one-handed offload to Lutz. It's a pin and pass. You do that every day at practice, and 2 men on the edge. Just too many numbers for San Diego. Seattle just getting overwhelmed on the corner, and a great try on the edge by Holloway.
Holloway, the Aussie, making his new head coach proud, his fellow countrymen.
I mean, you're just seeing San Diego right now playing with pace and they're recognizing numbers. Seattle, maybe a bit of their organizational defense not matching up numbers, but that was a massive overlap for this side to have 2 untouched players right there on the edge.
McClutchy knew the moment he struck it, it was going to be good. He's 3 for 3. And all of a sudden, San Diego, we could be talking about a try bonus point before these two teams go to the sheds.
Yeah, pretty incredible start from San Diego. The head coach was talking about we're going to work harder, we're going to be more disciplined, we're going to be more fit. And you're just showing it right now. San Diego traditionally last year had a slow start. They were a second half team, but coming out to a 21-0 lead early on. Great job by San Diego.
San Diego had won 4 of the last 5 meetings against Seattle before falling in the postseason last year. That's been a too familiar refrain for the Legion. That loss, 30-28 up in Tukwila. You and I were there. Another dramatic finish. And we know it's too early to count out Seattle, but they have to be cleaner.
And another unforced error there when you're talking about doing the right things and focus. Part of that is watching that ball into your mitts, making sure you catch those balls that are coming to you. A couple of handling errors there. San Diego actually on top of that 3-2, but really big moments there for Seattle, knocking the ball on when they have the territory in possession, and right there just giving San Diego the ball back and momentum.
So again, back in San Diego, Richard Judd, after we saw him 2 years ago, part of that really special run when they went 15-1, only to fall in Chicago to New England in pursuit of that first shield. It is Legion welcoming fans back to Torero Stadium this year with 3 scores early on. For San Diego, you just wondered how they would be looking going into last year's postseason after they lost several guys during that gap to both the USA and Canadian camps. Got them back in the fold and just couldn't quite pull off the upset against the 2-seed Seattle.
Yeah, traditionally San Diego having a hard time breaking through and having those moments, but you've got McClutchy to that 10, opening up the interior, consolidating that defense on the inside, and maybe those early darts by McClutchy opening up those edges for those scores on the side. It was a great job by San Diego without 20 minutes gone yet.
Richard Judd has the respect of all of his teammates who boast about his high rugby IQ out there, as this ball will make itself available for the number 9. And a knock on off one of our 3 early try scorers in Lutz.
Yeah, another unforced error there, and it's first game, first week of the season for these teams, so it's gonna happen. They're running at full tilt at the gain line. Just a different element there, just finding their feet. But Seattle, what an opportunity now. San Diego giving the ball back. They've got to find some shape here, hold on to the pill, and try to turn some territory into points. They just got to go ahead and even the score line here before it gets out of control.
Ninth meeting all time here in San Diego between the two. San Diego has won 6 of those first 8 meetings. And you have to like their chances of claiming this first edition of 2025. But still a whole lot of time. Haven't even hit our first hydration break yet. Again, our referee, Lex Wiener, not mic'd up today, but a great feature we'll have throughout the season, being able to listen in to a lot of our officials as they have their chats with the captains throughout the 80 minutes. We have not needed our television match official to chime in yet today, but that's Chris Asmus back in the studio, giving an extra set of eyes on this one. J.P. Smith gets things back underway with this Seattle scrum. Yona. As Ethan Grayson brings it as far up as he can, the 22-year-old out of England. Judd gets it back to Roach. Roach, the former Austin and Chicago hooker, now in his second year in San Diego. Yona, much better this time around, able to squeeze that one in. That's Jed Holloway moving the carrier backwards a yard. Bradley Wilkin, one of the newcomers for San Diego, sticking his head in there. McClutchy met by Sio and Cruze. Mika Cruze coming over from Utah this year. Already capped 7 times by the red, white, and blue. Well, that one traveled about 4 meters. May have tickled the sky briefly. We're coming back down, succumbing to gravity. Smith will free it up. Yona. See if Seattle can string something together here with Devin Short. Short unable to relinquish it, as they'll chop down Juan Pablo Saiz in his Seattle debut, coming over from Dallas. JP Smith saw the ball already free. He'll pick up a handful of meters. Yona denied, and this will come back, I believe, playing advantage a moment ago.
Yeah, penalty at the breakdown there, going Seattle's way. Did a great job maintaining possession. A little bit more wrinkles in their attack, finding those spot balls. Some great body position in contact from the forward pack, just finding their shape inch by inch here.
This should be the best opportunity for Seattle here in the early going. A 5-meter line out is what Seattle's looking to draw up here. Just need that successful toss from your hooker here in a moment. Get that maul to form. Let's see if we first have a hydration break. And again, Seattle was able to keep that opportunity alive with the no arms tackle effort that they're just chatting about there with Bradley Wilkin.
All right, this is where Seattle's at their best. They're on the goal line. They're absolutely ruthless in the red zone. Look them to do some ground and pound here. This is where they're really successful.
Ball has formed, but never got out of first gear.
And again, we're talking about ball security in that contact here. That's a couple turnovers in that contact. Just got to increase that ball security. That's a great opportunity God wanting for Seattle.
Again, for Dewey Kotza, that used to be a Kotza special. That's how he scored 5 tries against Seattle. And Seattle could not capitalize there. Another miscue. San Diego pinned back will look to avoid any errors of their own. And the 32-year-old Kiwi, Richard Judd. Legion will try to get it done on the ground, trying to get out of their own end. So back over to Seattle. Can they be opportunistic here with Dan Creel? Juan Pablo Saiz bouncing off the early tackle efforts. They'll dial up the captain, Rhino Herbst.
Get up, horse.
Rousseau. Only 2 men played more minutes than Devon Rousseau last year in MLR and ate up more meters than the fullback. Seattle 6 meters out. Smith. Good communication for San Diego here at Torero. Yona quickly offloads to Juan Pablo Saiz. And Seattle struggling to gain any real estate. Yona, quick heads up thinking, able to recover. And poke it backwards to a teammate. And Yona this time to Mika Cruze. And Seattle, Colin, is heading in the wrong direction. They were sniffing the try line, now 22 meters out. Back to Rousseau, trying to avoid the t-shirt tackle, looking for support within 4 meters. Is this the moment Seattle fans have been waiting all offseason for? And the Seawolves get on the board for the first time in 2025.
Sideline horse.
Quickly to Devin Short. But the result, the same.
What an offensive stand there from San Diego. Seattle was absolutely hammering on the door. They pushed him back. Nice job. It looked like Rousseau got them back within a couple of meters. But again, against San Diego, their fitness, their reorganization on defense, coming up and making tackles and getting the turnover, bending and not breaking.
It looked like Seattle was going to finally break through. The Legion having none of it. And that, Colin, will send us to a well-deserved hydration break. San Diego off to a brilliant start. Back in their old stomping grounds at Torero, up 21-0 over Seattle.
In an ever
BK Melts, wanna warm up, this sure helps.
Even when U.S. women's national team forward Mallory Swanson isn't on the field, she always makes
You just can't beat a post-game burger at McDonald's, right?
And you can't beat the Angel Reese special. All right, let's break it down.
You just can't beat a post-game burger at McDonald's, right?
And you can't beat the Angel Reese special. All right, let's break it down.
You just can't beat a post-game burger at McDonald's, right?
And you can't beat the Angel Reese special. All right, let's break it down.
even when U.S. women's national team forward Mallory Swanson isn't on the field, she always makes
You just can't beat a post-game burger at McDonald's, right?
And you can't beat the Angel Reese special. All right, let's break it down.
You just can't beat a post-game burger at McDonald's, right?
And you can't beat the Angel Reese special. All right, let's break it down.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000+ out of market.
Women's college hoops all season long on the networks of ESPN.
Welcome back to beautiful Torero Stadium. The home side, the San Diego Legion, back at their spiritual home ground, are up 21 points to nothing against Seattle. I'm alongside Mikey Teo, Legion legend, retired in recent years, my friend. What's it like being on the other side? I know you want to play today.
I'm glad I'm not playing. I see how fast and everybody is, so I'm just like enjoying the game so far. It's a good fast start, and yeah, MLR is right back into it.
Tell us about the work you're doing with Imagine Rugby, working in schools and introducing the game to the next level of players.
Yeah, so Imagine Rugby, we're doing an awareness campaign. We're trying to get, as we build up to the Rugby World Cup in 2031, we're trying to get as many kids exposed to rugby, the love of rugby, the core values of rugby and what it does, and the inclusiveness, trying to get boys, girls, everybody to play rugby.
So you're still playing then, is what you're saying?
What was that?
You're still playing then?
I'm definitely not playing. I could barely get up this hill.
Mikey, we'll get you back to supporting your team. Thanks for joining us and all the great work you're doing.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Thanks.
Awesome.
Mikey Teo, synonymous with San Diego rugby, whether it was the Breakers before MLR, his 2 tours with San Diego. Colin, when we were assembling our notes for this week, when you just looked at the players who weren't back for San Diego this year, that would have been a heck of a team in MLR. But here's the group that is back this year. No complaints, 21-0 against Seattle.
What a dream start from San Diego. Just got to shout out to Mikey Teo. He's one of the best ambassadors for the sport of rugby. Coming up through the Sevens national team as a young player, he's just excelled so greatly and was such a great asset for San Diego. Great to see him still involved, growing the game at the grassroots level and staying involved.
Well, Seattle's flirted twice with punching one in. Each time San Diego's turned them away. J.P. Smith making sure all the T's are crossed, I's are dotted. And San Diego sets up this line out. Hugh Roach, the 32-year-old Australian, fires it in. So far, so good. Judd. All of a sudden within 30 yards of finding that try bonus point. Wilkin in close proximity, able to handle that one. This has been the magic formula. Seattle hasn't learned their lesson just yet. Looking for that early brace. Ryan James extends, he's in.
They are making that 5-meter channel their bread and butter. San Diego playing a beautiful, wide, expansive 7-style bit of rugby, and Ryan James is absolutely jacked on the corner. The winger gets 2 in the first half. Off that great line-out play. Hugh Roach had to be good. Great line-out deception in the middle. Here's the set piece. Nice little switch in the centers. Good run up there. Almost a little bit of a slow ball, but nice ball here. Good pop between the forwards. Good run up there by Wilkin. But then in slow ball here. Looks like a bunch of Seattle folks on their feet, and just that corner. Quick hands to the edge, and James, nice little show and go, dancing on the outside, getting past his opposite. Great individual effort after a well-worked try to the corner. James getting it done as the wing. Do what wingers do best, shake and bake and scoring tries.
Can I interest you in a 25-year-old domestic out on the wing, Ryan James? He's already exceeded his try total from all of last season. McClutchy having some fun with that kick. He's 4 for 4. San Diego's already guaranteed a point. They're looking for 4 more.
Yeah, taking a look here. It's just a quick hands. I think that was Lutz that got it through. Beats the winger, but look at that little step. You can't tackle him in a phone booth. It's a tight, quick in and out move, and he is absolutely failing it right now.
Ryan James looks like he's not content with simply a brace here today. Meanwhile, all the other coaches who were in action yesterday are scouting out this one and trying to figure out how they're going to stop San Diego out there on the perimeter.
It's pretty impressive first game of the season, going ahead and using that ball and taking advantage of that overlap. One-man overlap on the edge. I mean, you think about it, you've got to win that line out. You've got to have a couple set pieces, the shape that goes in there, and the skills and the awareness to hit the hands all the way through to the wing on that tightrope to find James. Pretty impressive week 1, game 1 from San Diego.
Seawolves coming out from their line out. And I believe after the tackle failure to roll away. As Seattle has their eyes of setting up another Dewey Coates line out here in a moment. Yona, the former NOLA Goldman before coming over to Seattle last year. Well, that one does not make its way out. Seattle regrouping back at midfield. He knew the hit was coming. Jeremiah Seo just could not secure that ball.
Now we're just talking about dial it in here. Counterattack opportunity. They mistouch, they get the ball back, and that was just a dart to the back shoulder. You've got to put that in front of him. So watch here, takes it to the line, and that's just off the back right shoulder. You've got to put that ball in front of the winger while he's coming onto the pill.
That was his own former teammate, Pete Lepetti, whose footsteps he heard while trying to manage that ball behind that back shoulder. All right, back to scrum time here. A little over a half hour gone. 18th all-time meeting between San Diego and Seattle. With that playoff win last year, Seattle has the edge, 9-8 all-time. More importantly for them, 4 of those 9 wins have come in the postseason with their season on the line. Mentioned more often than not, these two teams are on a collision course in those knockout rounds. Again, for Seattle this year, it's Cam Orr, Dewey Coates, and Juan Pablo Saiz up front. Going shoulder to shoulder with Peyton Tele Ilalio, Hugh Roach, and Darcy Breen. And a quick restart here for Hokafonu. And Seattle's going to make it difficult to try and make their way back down that flank on the far side. 4 tries later from San Diego. No call for a mark, but still the return of service here. And secured with ease for Lincoln McClutchy, who's been solid so far today. All the time in the world. And this one will drift out of play.
Yeah, not a bad kicking exchange by both teams, setting their feet, trying to find a bit of territory in that ping pong match. And there's the 2-time try scorer Ryan James getting some action on the wing. Really happy to see him finding success so early in this season.
You think about some of these Legion players just buried behind incredible resumes on the depth chart in years past, but finally get to make a name for themselves here under a first-year head coach, John Manenti. Not Hugh Roach, he's already made a name for himself, but this one a bit ambitious. As Seattle recovers at midfield after Seattle, a last-ditch effort trying to play it with the boot. Judd will try to pin Seattle back inside their own 22. And that'll set up our next set piece. Seattle's going to stay on the road. It doesn't get any easier after today. Their next match will be in a couple of weeks at Houston. Of course, Houston just suffered a rare loss at home last night against Chicago, despite the fact Chicago at times was playing down 2 men with a red card and a yellow card simultaneously. San Diego's going to hit the road. They're going to travel all the time zones over to take on Anthem next week. An improved Anthem side, but still looking for that first win. As Clarkey looks on, already knows probably what he's going to say here in about 6 minutes when they're back in the locker room.
Yeah, just got to clean it up and stop turning the ball over and play their brand of rugby. I know they're kind of off of it a bit right now, but second half coming up.
Of course, one of his top assistants in charge of the attack over the years in Seattle, Chris Latham, is your head coach this year in Chicago, already getting that result down in Texas last night. You could understand why somebody would want to hire the attack coach from Seattle with the consistency they've had, but today, Seawolves still looking for that first offensive strike. And this is coming all the way back outside of the 22 and carried out on the full.
Yeah, these are those moments as a team when you're down, you get gifted something right before the half, 5 minutes left to play. You got to go ahead and take advantage of these turnovers and make something happen here on the tack. Maintain possession of the pill, find your shape, and run through the phases and get in the try zone.
Those fans weren't fans of the Orcas. Those were the San Diego Sharks that they were cheering on, and today cheering on the Legion. Nervy moments. Right now it's Devin Short, the 26-year-old USA Falcon. And back to the fullback, Rousseau. He traversed over 1,100 meters last year. Again, that was third best in the league. Mentioned J.P. Smith's first year in Seattle was when they lifted the shield here, but he actually has more memories from their first trip to Torero that year when it was not sunny in San Diego. It was anything but a Chamber of Commerce day. Pouring rain, sloshy conditions. Just another great chapter in this rivalry. Smith back to Yona, under pressure. As McClutchy. We'll advance it up ahead.
A great ball into touch by McClutchy in Seattle, just trying to figure out a way to break through the San Diego defense. But what's really coming through for me to San Diego is how composed they are. Their defensive structure coming up, it's this iron wall that's coming up together and making big hits and tackles, getting up very composed, in a line, well-structured, really hard to break through if you're Seattle.
Jed Holloway a little slow back to his feet. So again, Kotza, one of the new additions for Seattle this year. Capped 4 times now by Canada. Good communication. As Grayson trying to find an opportunity. Every little thing going the way of the Legion. And I spoke too soon. A couple of dueling knock-ons at the end there. So we'll give you another look.
Playing the ball, keeping it alive. You just love to see it from Sandiego. The little waggle, keeping the ball in 2 hands. Look at that one-handed offload. James almost brings it in, but nice grab and pop back onto the inside, and maybe a little too much there. I think it was a walkie coming through the line. Just you love to see the team playing with a bit of confidence and moving the pill around like that.
Richard Judd at that point thought they could do no wrong. That offload just a bit too ambitious. And at this time, you figure Sandiego would love one more score. Seattle's just trying to get out of this first half, these final 60 seconds plus, without any more damage done. And we saw Sandiego last year in round 18 erase a 21-13 deficit to win, 45-33 here, going into the postseason. But today it's Seattle on the road, where they've only won twice against Sandiego here. And will need to erase a 4-try deficit. So Seattle with a chance to try to line up a late opportunity. As Yona trying to set up a line out for Seattle.
Seattle would love to get some sort of points here, get that goose egg off the board and find a bit of momentum going into the half.
Seattle last year had that 8-1 start. A 3-4 finish down the stretch was a little lackluster, but they won when it mattered the most, making another run to the final. They would come up short to New England, your back-to-back champions. Still a chance available here for Seattle. Can they finally execute on the 5-meter line out, get that driving maul to punch one in?
And here we go again for Seattle. 5-meter line out, we know what's coming. This is where they're good, bread and butter. They would love a try here to dart it in.
Devin Short with a little extra color here at the end of the first half. And Pofu had his eyes on 5 instead, will be brought into touch, it appears.
And that's going to do it for this first half. It just looked like Seattle won the line out. You just got to get your body low. Sandiego coming in. Here's that little weak side run. Too high in the tackle. You've got to get your shoulders down and drive through. You've got that support player. Just the low man wins in that position. Sandiego driving to touch. And another try left wanting for Seattle.
Sandiego rekindling some old memories.
Sandiego's playing too well. They've got to tighten that up and just really commit to playing rugby in this second half in this Seattle brand that we're used to seeing.
Great to have Major League Rugby back for season number 8. 2 of the founding members again colliding here in week 1. What will we see out of Seattle here coming out of the locker room? Smith. A great first half from Lincoln McClutchy. And folks, again, the first half brace from that man, Ryan James. And an early decision for Seattle. After the knock-on for San Diego. Well, it's not a formula I recommend, but Seattle last year was shut out 8 times in the first half. They won the first 4 occasions, but the math caught up to them the next 4. They overcame that 26-point deficit against the Hounds last year. It is an uphill battle here today against San Diego. So Seattle scrum again will be led by J.P. Smith. Mentioned he's been with Seattle all but their first year of existence. We even saw him step in some at fullback last year. Will do anything this team needs, the former Cheetah. Just need to find a rhythm. Hugh Taylor, the big flanker out of the UK. A quick offload, Cam Orr, the only remaining piece in that front 3 in his second year. Seattle will go with a different approach, trying to force San Diego to make a mistake. No such luck, squeezed in by Grayson. And back to the loose head prop. Delea Ilalio. Judd will free it up and get it over the outstretched arm of Mpofu. Into some traffic. Appear to be a knock-on for Seattle. It's a moot point here as San Diego able to come up with it. Little hop, skip, and a step. And it just makes you hold your breath the way the first 40 minutes played out there on the perimeter. Legion fortunate to have numbers back to secure that ball. At the most recent whistle again from our referee, Lex Wiener. Chimes in here as he'll bring it back.
It's like both teams at the beginning of this second half trying to find their form after a bit of a break. A couple knock-ons and box kicks. And there's J.P. Smith trying to get the team for Seattle getting going, get some energy up to find their shape a bit more.
These two teams will meet in mid-May once again. Of course, that'll be up in Tukwila at Starfire, one of the great passionate venues in MLR. Devin Short has been battered and bruised today, bloodied as well, just for alliteration's sake. No need for either skipper to dip into their bench just yet.
The center scrum here for San Diego, attacking options on each side of the scrum. Pretty hard to defend if you're Seattle. Let's see what they have in the menu.
It's a great look from our crew there a moment ago as this scrum with Richard Judd. San Diego found that try bonus point in the opening half. The reverse course here now on the near side, headed in the opposite direction the second half. Pete Lopetti was leading that charge. Ryan James was hoping for perhaps the hat trick. Now they'll head in the opposite direction. Legion already 4 on the board. They'll make it 5. Thomas Awake is in, the Kiwi.
So impressive from San Diego. They are playing incredible rugby from that center scrum, attacking options in east side. You see him feigning right here, moving that defense over a little bit. The skip pass out to Lepetti. He's got support on the outside, and James, he beats his opposite, and you see all those Seattle jerseys having to go over there in the 5-meter channel. which means it should be open on the opposite side. Nice job in hands there by the 6, pointed in, and again gets in the hands of Milwaukee, and those wingers just doing a great job beating their opposite and getting tries. It is a wing fest here for San Diego, scoring some tries on the edge.
Don't want to overlook Jimmy Hokafonu right there in the heart of the attack. Measured that throw, held on to it a little bit longer, and just in time freed it up. Of course, Hokafonu is reunited with Manenti after Hokafonu's previous stop had been with Eastwood in Australia, former stomping grounds of his new boss.
Yeah, you have that option on the outside to play a softer defense and drift across, but Seattle coming up, trying to make these hits and biting down. It leaves that wing open and Milwaukee on the outside. It's a gamble if you're playing aggressive, but if you don't get that ball and they get it out through their hands, it's usually a try like that.
So more of the same here in the first 6 minutes of the second half. 35-0 for the Legion. Harvey able to secure that. And again, the home side today has been about as clean as you could hope for after a short preseason. They played Los Angeles and Utah in the preseason. Had their stumbles against those Warriors. Both teams entered with a clean slate. You see Latawa in for Mpofu for Seattle as they make the first change coming in off the bench. Isaiah Latawa, one of the returners at lock, a 24-year-old. A reinforcement today. A swing and a miss, and this time it's Cruze. Cruising within 10 meters. Erbst, Seattle 5 meters away, but they've been here before. They're looking for the payoff, and ultimately brought in a touch.
And that was a great defensive effort from San Diego after a great Seattle strike move. Finally something working on in primary phase. Check out this ball on a line, and just nice line by Cruze, the 13, getting that dagger inside, breaking through that midfield defense. San Diego scrambling, bending, not breaking, and a nice offload behind the back there to Herbst, but on the outside. The pass doesn't go in front of the player, and just a great job by Grayson making that cover tackle, and obviously frustration there from Seattle.
May have been a poke in that right eye, inadvertent, but a great tackle bringing the Seawolf into touch. And now Hugh Roach looking for a clean line out here with his men pinned back. Seattle 0 for 3 inside 5 meters. Still being shut out by San Diego. Already 9 minutes gone here in the second half. Let's check back in with Dallin.
Yeah, Lincoln spoke to both coaches. Alan Clark from Seattle, he said he felt like his team got punched in the nose early on in that first half. They need to stick to the basics and need to execute the basics, which looks like they're doing currently as well. And then John Manenti from San Diego said they need to start fast, they need to keep that discipline, and they're certainly doing just that.
Yeah, so Devin Short looks like the rest of his teammates probably feel right now. Kotza able to salvage this ball on the line out. Creel lowering the shoulder. Yona will call his own number. Rodney Yona looking for some contact, welcoming it on his way down. Tion Lutz is slow to get up for San Diego, but they'll play on. The surge from Cam Orr inside the 22. Did San Diego manage to steal it back? No, it stays with the Seawolves. That one behind Shorts, but Cruze is there. Almost a hero on their last possession, Mika Cruze. Reunited with Chance Winkluski this year after they were in Utah a couple years back. There's your captain, Rhino Herbst. Again, no Riekert Hatting here today. Absences of Hatting and Peterson. You wonder what this side would look like with those two being able to factor in. This is usually a moment for optimism, Colin. Historically in Major League Rugby, this is your best chance, an overwhelming opportunity to dot one down. Seattle just has not been able to execute.
Yeah, we talk about getting the basics right. It's winning this line out, getting down, getting your forwards together to get that drive in. I know they had a couple wrinkles there going on the blind side, just a quick hit. Just you got to get your body height low. You got to get to work here and get some points on the board.
Again, the two former Dallas men communicating there. And Dallas, Coates knew he was getting this ball right back every time behind the maul. And he does have it here. Dewey Coates, with that maul struggling and a little too much daylight shining on the hooker for Seattle. You see Foucher has come on for Seattle. More changes off the bench for the side that's down by 5 tries. Back within 5 meters, Rhino Herbst. Coates 8 meters out. JP Smith looking at his options. We promised San Diego only has 15 men out there.
Really slow ball from Seattle, playing methodically, trying to maintain possession. They're going to want to pick up the pace. San Diego's been too good on their red zone defense.
JP Smith waiting for his next opportunity. Short. Ball spills loose. San Diego's done it again. And we head the other way. Rousseau with some space. The veteran Marcel Brahi giving chase. And Seawolves back in business. Lotawa with an early carry. Again, Foucher. As 2 men come in to meet O.J. Noah. We got one Seawolf dealing with a cramp. Juan Pablo Sainz looking to make an impact in his Seattle debut. Creel. A giveaway. Ryan James plucks it out of the sky.
Looks like we're coming back for an advantage. I think San Diego is laying on the ball there. Probably trying to fling the ball wide and make something happen on the edge, knowing they had a free one. And take a look here. The turnover at the goal line again for Seattle, puts the ball deep. But then we got Devin Rousseau here at 15 doing a nice job stepping on the inside, dummy pass, beating Brocky, the substitute, and barely getting hemmed down there. That's a great counterattack from the 15 and just opens up the game a bit for Seattle. A little bit of go forward, wind in their sails, moving forward. That's kind of what you need from Seattle to go ahead and get some momentum back for their side.
But Colin, all of a sudden, almost another 15 minutes has melted away in this matchup. Next thing you know, it'll be the final hydration break. You'll be down to 20 minutes, and Seattle has seen that deficit grow in this half by another 7 points. Now, at the moment, we're being told Lex Wiener is communicating with our TMO, Chris Asmus. And maybe in New Orleans you can get away with a little crocodile roll, but
Right there over the top, reaching around, crocodile roll, reaching around. That's what they're looking at right there. Dangerous play in the breakdown.
We anticipate this will be a 10-minute trip to the sin bin with a yellow. We'll get the decision here from Lex Wiener in a moment. With the captain Bradley Wilkin looking on, sees one of his teammates sent off. And for the first time today, Seattle will have a numbers advantage. Just a gesture going over to Devin Short. Say no ill will.
Obviously a little upset there for the penalty at the breakdown. Coming in there, used to be able to do that crocodile roll. No more in the game of rugby. Dangerous play at the breakdown. But if you're Seattle now, you've got 10 minutes to go ahead and play a man up, a man advantage. And we're back here with this line out. Traditionally, one of their best parts of their game is going ahead and win this line out and getting that driving maul going. It's just got absolutely obliterated their last chance here. Let's see if playing a man up gives them that advantage that they need.
So the 10-minute clock now counting for Hokafonu, one of the newcomers for San Diego. One of the few things that hasn't gone their way today. And I don't think anybody's surprised here. Seattle just has not been able to execute on that 5-meter line out.
I mean, credit to San Diego. They're absolutely challenging everything. They're giving Seattle nothing easy here in this match. And that's what I think Gian Minetti, the new head coach there, brought to this team. We're going to work harder, we're going to be fitter, we're going to play a full 80 minutes of rugby and take no phases off. Traditionally, you know, you could maybe take one of these things off, but being 35-0, they're still pushing every single aspect of play.
Seattle's opportunity, though, still alive. Now the scrum, 5 meters out. All that pressure building. And as these two teams collide, San Diego trying to maintain the clean sheet. New hooker in for Seattle with the remaining set pieces. Yona a meter shy. Is there grounding on the line? Not just yet. They'll stretch it out wide. Seawolves still unconfirmed. It's held up. And it's back over to Legion.
Talk about goal line defense for San Diego. Iona looking to break through. Take another look here. Great run and just getting underneath the ball carrier. Brocky flying over that breakdown too. They get their hands underneath the ball, unable to ground it. The referee's just going to call it held up, and San Diego defense holds firm.
And you know the TMO saw what we saw. Absolutely no grounding there.
Tap and go opportunity. Seattle, the ground and pound. Can they get their first try?
A meter out. Still haven't gotten it in just yet. Smith trying to free it up. Trying to take that 0 off the board. Legion will finally concede for the first time today. It appeared to be Cam Orr who finally broke through the Australian. Usually you would have had a goal line dropout earlier when they failed, but the reason why is Seattle got that second opportunity, a yellow card on Poitevin, which has San Diego down 2 men. Rodney Jonas, first chance to try to split those sticks. Flags will stay down. It's wide right. As Clarkey looks on, his men have found their first 5.
Nice job by J.P. Smith finding the outside, and just the fight from the front rower right there, getting over the line. Cameron Orr gets stood up, but keeps the pressure on to get the try. And another yellow card for San Diego. 2 yellows here if you're Seattle and you have a habit of coming back in the second half. This is definitely what you're looking for here and grinding out a try.
So Seattle capitalizes, being up 2 men. Hokofono and Poitevin, both spectators right now in the sin bin. See if Seattle can go on a run. Back to Kruse. He's had some promising moments today, but none would lead to that first try. Hello, possibly goodbye, O.J. Noah. With some friends, Cece Mahoney. I don't know if Smith on the perimeter was the best option there. As he struggles to keep it in play, it's a knock-on. That'll put an end to this opportunity.
O.J. Noah in the guts, just being a big man and going through. Now that's the physical aggression that we're used to Seattle right there. Nice high restart. Kruse gets the ball underway, well taken, steps his opposite, gets go forward. The defense is on their back foot. A little bit slower here, but the launch is up is good. He just beats them and pumps off the 9 inside 2, and he's stretching his legs, looking for support on the outside. Pass over the top, and that's Lepetti just absolutely giving J.P. Smith a dart to the hip.
We're also seeing one of the newcomers, Juice Gumede, and he had a little impact there. You'll recognize Juice out there, the one gentleman with his shirt tucked in for Seattle. We'll see him with the 18 on his back, the big South African prop, trying to help his teammates find that second score. Again, San Diego playing down 2 men. And a line out coming up here. So Seattle has basically their entire forward line reworked now for the last 20-plus minutes, including this man.
Coming through here, if you're Seattle, you're going to want to play with a bit of sense of urgency as time clicks down on this clock. You know, we're going to see a lot of players come back on the pitch from the Yellows. They've got a 2-man opportunity here to take advantage of it. They need to go ahead and play with a sense of urgency.
Jesse McHale fired it in. Cece Mahoney able to tap it back. Over to Legion. Brahe will send it into touch.
We'll come back here again. Another line out from off the side of the foot of Brahe.
Yeah, on the full, so you bring it back. 32 times he was capped by the Eagles. And that should take us to our final hydration break here with an hour complete and 20 minutes to go. San Diego already has a bonus point locked up. They'd like to keep 5 points by the end of today at the expense of Seattle. You're watching Week 1 of Major League Rugby.
In an
For a limited time at Domino's, get the Dream Pizza Deal. Any pizza you want for just $9.99 online. Because any pizza with any crust and any toppings means you can order the pizza you've been dreaming of. All for the dream price of $9.99. The Dream Pizza Deal at Domino's.
Am I the only one who doesn't get it?
Hey, get a grip. You got this.
Okay, so what? You have the answers?
Do you just want the answers? Or do you want to learn? Smart choice. Get a grip on college with Chegg.
NHL on ESPN Plus is back. Enjoy 1,000+ out-of-market games and so much more. That's hockey on ESPN Plus.
Even when U.S. Women's National Team forward Mallory Swanson isn't on the field, she always makes the perfect play. Thanks to the Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards Visa Card, she'll earn 3% cash back on her purchase after choosing the online shopping category.
And take a look at the highlights here. We had a couple darts there, but it was Hoytevin dotting it down first for San Diego, then on the outside, nice bit of show and go on the edge, and James gets his first. San Diego just doing a great job, making the 5-meter sing in the hands of the lock. Jed Holloway dots it down, and San Diego has been on fire. Overlaps in this bit of skill. Nice job by Lutz, getting it in the hands of James. Nice little inside step, beats his opposite and dots it down for his second, and he's absolutely stoked right there. Milwaukee, the Wings are scoring tries here, doing what they do best. A nice job hitting the left side and coming back to the right and taking advantage of those overlaps. San Diego's playing a bit of sevens rugby with their new coach.
That last try, our only score of the second half so far for San Diego. Seattle was not able to find the conversion, but did at least find their first score to take the 0 off the board. And Mark called as uncontested return of serve here coming up.
Just think San Diego's done a great job of slowing down the pace of play, especially with 2 men in the bin, just really eating up this clock. McClutchy talking to the ref, and still as that clock goes, that's a bit of game management, a savviness from the 10.
Again, San Diego, their final regular season match last year against Seattle. Their playoff match against Seattle. Their opener this week, Seattle. 3 straight matches for San Diego against these rivals, the men who ended their year last year, and the Legion were waiting. They were ready. Again, your reserve hooker today, Jesse McHale, one of the newcomers, a Canadian standout who's already been capped 3 times up north. Brandon Harvey, the most recent man to come off after making his San Diego debut today for the familiar lock in Ville Helu. Ifale on for Lepetti. You're going to recognize a lot of these names coming off the bench for San Diego. A deep squad. A great test today. We mentioned they go to Carolina, then to the nation's capital in their next 2 matches before hosting LA here in the second weekend of March.
We've got a turnover of the line of touch here. Seattle, another turnover at the line of touch. Gives the ball back to San Diego. That 2-man advantage, the clock's ticking there, and San Diego happy to go ahead and saunter into touch here, set up their line.
Shiloh Klein will handle this throw in a moment, the Sacramento kid. Recently got his first 2 caps with the United States. Well, if you're Seattle, you're hoping maybe some of the reinforcements come on for San Diego aren't quite as crisp. But it's been Seattle who's been stubbing their own toe. Several times have flirted with scores this afternoon, only to get in their own way. You'd like to think that's an easy fix going forward.
And what a great touch finder by Iona. Getting all the way down to the 5-meter. What a pinpoint kick. And again, another opportunity in an area of the game where they're traditionally very successful and high conversion rate.
Your new head man in San Diego, Don Minenti, trying to be among the first-year head coaches finding wins here in week 1. Again, we saw Chris Latham in Chicago, with Chicago last night in Houston. Contested, but stays with Seattle. Brock Gallagher has the keys to this offense now for the Seawolves moving forward and plays it J.P. Smith. Iona, well played, back to Foucher. Foucher in his debut is in. Seattle perhaps still in business, showing some fight here on the road.
And that was just really pretty from Seattle, winning the line out and coming around from a loop and play. Now that's classy stuff from Seattle. Taking a look, great pod, great support, quick ball out the back. Great pass in front of him, just a looping play from Iona to Foucher, and he finds a bit of a half gap inside of that San Diego defense and gets the try. That's better rugby from Seattle, and a great heads-up play by Foucher, getting through that gap and dotting it down.
Eddie Foucher and his former teammate from back in South Africa, Gumede, both making their way to the Pacific Northwest this year for their Major League Rugby debuts. Still some work to be done. Seattle, if they can find even 2 tries, all of a sudden at least finds a bonus point in this one, if not a lost bonus point. Right now, they're looking to leave still San Diego empty-handed at the current rate. Trying to take advantage of a San Diego team that's still down a couple men. They're about to get another one back in a moment. McClutchy still going strong in his start today. As the debut for Hokafonu is over again, he spent his final 10 minutes in the sin bin, now replaced by Paddy Ryan. Ryan, a great example of a pathway player. Rousseau. It is rare they sub him off at fullback. And San Diego less than a minute away from getting some more good news. Getting a man back out there on the pitch. Just a great venue here at Torero. The players almost parade-like come down the hill from the locker room, greeted by the fans who've come out early. And you know those fans are going to stick around and look to celebrate this one with San Diego. If they can send Seattle empty-handed back to Tukwila. Brahi. Eyes in the back of the head, find McClutchy. For the first time, the T will come out. Just inside of midfield for the Legion. A good chance to stretch the legs. And Oliver Kane, one of the reserve props, the 26-year-old American. We've seen him with the Hawks. As he replaces Breen. So Ethan Grayson will try to split the sticks here for 3. Young 22-year-old. Flags will stay down.
Big long kick, worth the effort from Ethan Grayson, the 15. He's had a great game there at fullback. Not a bad idea to take a shot at goal. You got your side back to full strength.
And there's your most recent try score for Seattle. As Eddie Foucher, talented fly half in his own right. A carry from Poitevin. Already 1 try today for Christian. It was 28-0 at halftime. Brahi able to avoid the knock-on, or did he? No.
Almost reined that ball in from the offload in the tackle. I think it was from Grayson. But Brahi so deadly on the exterior, coming in and finding those little seams in the support line. Nearly made it through, but San Diego, in terms of penalties, having 9-5 here.
Well, Seattle took advantage of a couple of those penalties when San Diego saw some cards. At one point, San Diego is down 2 men.
this stat right here. Turnovers 1, San Diego taking 9, and absolutely taking advantage of that, turning that into points.
Gallagher, the former Dallas scrum half, reunited with Dewey Kotza and Juan Pablo Saiz here in Seattle. Can't think of a better way to spend this Sunday afternoon. Room temperature in San Diego at Torero Stadium.
Absolutely beautiful venue, back where it all began for San Diego at Torero Stadium. I'm sure the crowd loves it, having it.
So scrum for Seattle. Gallagher frees it up. Foucher off his boot. As Brahe will scoop it up 7 meters from his own try line. And make sure to get rid of it inside his 22. Check back in with Dallin.
Yeah, we all saw the effect of Ilona Moore at the Olympic Games and what she did for Rugby North America. Well, here in San Diego, they've just hired Haley Harris and Olivia Sora as leading women's rugby development. First time in history, first full-time woman and girls development officer. Loving what they're doing off the field here.
Dallin, we had a match where you were unavailable and Ilona had to fill in a couple of years ago. I thought you were going to be Wally pipped. I thought that was it for Dallin's sideline reporting career, but Ilona had other ideas, Dancing with the Stars, being an Olympic hero. But always appreciate having Dallin with the extra set of eyes down there on the pitch. Another carry here from Dan Creel. Got to work with Alicia Washington yesterday. Really exciting to see how both the men's and women's games have continued to grow here in North America, in addition to those international opportunities for Americans. How many opportunities will be left in this match for Seattle? They found 12 points here in the second half. Conceded just 1 try since halftime. Day for Richard Judd is over, as he'll hand the keys over to Tupai.
Yeah, Connor Tupai last season, coming off the bench, was absolutely electric for this Legion team. He brings just a very fire starter attitude, maybe just an injection of emotion here in this last 8 minutes to finish this game off for San Diego.
See what Jesse McHale has in mind, quickly in. And unfortunately, this is nothing new for Seattle. And fortunately, it'll stay with Seattle, as it's going to be about 6 meters out here.
Again, another opportunity. Seattle's been here so many times in this match and been thwarted by the Legion. Line out time. Let's see if they can get their maul going and staying tight and get this over the line like they know they want to.
San Diego last year, easy to overlook. They were tied for the fewest tries conceded. They've given up just 2 today to the prolific attack, typically of Seattle. McHale, that ball under his right arm. Gallagher trying to get some support, the surge, and just like that, Seattle has their 3rd try on this side of halftime. Jesse McHale opens his Seattle account here in Major League Rugby.
And finally, that's the look from Seattle that we've been waiting for. The great line out throw and getting together. Gallagher just screaming at his forward pack to stay tight and get on the push. Well, that's better from Seattle. And the replacement hooker does a great job throwing that ball into the middle. Hits his jumper, and right there, going to work. Gets stood up there a bit by San Diego, but the Pistons keep firing. Gallagher out the back. The Cattle Sheepdog just calling his players back in there to get the shove on, and right here it breaks through from the edge. and Jesse McHale gets through and dots it down, and he's ecstatic about it. That's better from Seattle.
The 28-year-old Canadian, as Foucher, already a try of his own, looks for the conversion here. It's good.
Really like what Foucher's brought to this game as he's come off the bench. He's got a level of composure, and he sees the field pretty well, and that looping try that he had from Iona, they're just playing really well together. Maybe a combination we see as we get further on in the season.
Next thing on that honeydew list for Alan Clark is to find a fourth try to secure a bonus point. After that, you would be looking for possibly a opportunity to pull even. Seawolves still something to play for here. You never know when a bonus point heading into the postseason will be the difference in a chance to host, as opposed to having to travel, where it's always tough to find an away win, despite what we've seen in this opening week here in MLR, where only New Orleans and possibly San Diego will have defended their home turf. McClutchy, Brahe has daylight in space and has the skill to find Grayson. 4 meters out. They inch closer, the final meter, and it's elementary for Connor Tupine.
Tupine, the scrum half substitute, coming in here, looking up and seeing no pillar defense there on that blind side. Easy for him, just picks up and dots it down in the corner after a great break from Brahe on the exterior. And again, San Diego finding so much opportunity on the edges, even with substitutes coming on there. They are absolutely fine. Take another look. Tupine, great ball to McClutchy. He finds Brahe. He just beats his opposites there. Lots of lanes going and running in. We thought that Grayson was going to get it all the way down there, but nice job by James. And right here, just nobody home on the blind side. Easy for Tupine to get over into the try line. But great job in support from San Diego. They had a break, and boom, easy as you like for Connor Tupine.
Look at the man who came in to help make that possible, and ultimately that ball freed up for Tupine, and it was a pretty simple task from there. All right, so this is going to be a victory for San Diego. We're comfortable saying that. The only question is, will Seattle find a try bonus point and find a fourth try this half? That is still on the table. San Diego's already secured, we anticipate 5 points here today to put up on a beleaguered Western Conference table after yesterday's results. San Diego will be the only team in the West with a victory. Still a couple minutes to go, but Colin, let's take a look at your player of the match candidates.
Yeah, we got to look at McClutchy right there. He did such a great job at the beginning of the game, and he just broke through and kept that interior defense. And then James scoring a couple tries on the edge. I mean, he just did a great job finishing off. Great work from the interior. And Brahe coming on there doing a great job. I mean, wonderful job by these three backline players from a great setup from the interior from San Diego. We got to give a shout out to Poitevin. He's had an incredible job so far in this match as well.
On the Seattle side, Eddie Foucher would probably be in the conversation. The spark he gave them late, but too little, too late. Seattle looking for that fourth try. Coming in, Patty Ryan, having none of it. As the Seawolves regroup, but still in San Diego territory. little deceptive. You look at the score line, if you're told one of these two teams was your runner-up in the MLR final. As optimism there with Chance Wingluski. David Busby now in with the 23 on his back. Gallagher, your reserve scrum half. Foucher. Seawolves still looking for that fourth try here in the second half to salvage a bonus point and avoid leaving San Diego empty-handed. And a bonus point very much within reach. Foucher 4 meters out. Creel. One more man. Was he able to get in? Jade Stickling, 10 tries last year to lead Seattle. Was he brought into touch, or did he go in for the try?
Just an incredible effort by both teams. Nice job getting that ball. Spin pass, Creel gets going. Nice pass out of the tackle. Brahe misses, and Iwaki comes over. And that's just the story of the day for Seattle versus San Diego. Iwaki wagging the finger, saying not today, but look at that double tackle on the edge.
The back of his head was it out before the grounding, and there's also to consider, I believe they saw a tackle not pursuing the ball. So a few question marks linger here inside the final 90 seconds. In San Diego with a new head coach, John Manenti. And now he's set a high bar for himself here on week 1. Take a look at everything they're considering here. Yep.
There's the hit on Chance Wingluski on the interior, tackling without the ball. Great pickup by the referees.
So even if it's not a try for Seattle, this will be their ball. So you imagine the TMO saw exactly what we just showed you.
Let's take another look again here, and that's the penalty right there. Sometimes when the guys are coming up there, you got 3 stacked on the gain line, but that ball is obviously past him in front of that runner in the middle of that attacking pack. And just a thumbs up from the big man, Chance Wingluski, right there, just saying, I'm all right, that was a big shot.
The kid from Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was Chance who was really hitting the gym in the offseason. So no try. And it's because of the lack of discipline there that Seattle still gets another chance. And they are determined to make the 5-meter line out work. This might be their last bite at the apple. Looking for that 4th try, which would secure you a bonus point at the very least here in Major League Rugby. An ambitious throw, but it's secured by O.J. Noah. Rousseau, the offload into touch. I believe they were playing with advantage from early in that play. So Gallagher waiting. San Diego's line hoping to hold for one last stand here. Gallagher. This time Wingluski, does he get some payback? Rousseau unable to free it up. 4 meters out. fortunate to still be playing with this ball. Seattle looking for that fourth try to salvage a bonus point here. The victory will go to San Diego. But can Seattle avoid leaving empty-handed, heading back to Tukwila? Gallagher continues to bark the instructions. Still 5 meters out. The next error on Seattle puts the punctuation, no doubt, on this match. And it's San Diego who gets the next mistake, and with it, a send-off. So Seattle, who's played their best in the second half when San Diego's been down at least one man, will have another chance to capitalize here.
You talk about teams getting yellow carded 3 times in a match, and it usually goes the other way in terms of scoreline. But that's how good San Diego's been on the day, taking advantage of attacking opportunities.
Again, we saw Chicago overcome it. They erased a decent deficit yesterday, playing down 2 men against Houston, in Houston of all places. San Diego already had a decent lead before they started to suffer a few mustard cards. Scrum for Gallagher and Seattle. Out to Creel, able to hang on to it and free it up. Wingluski wants it, 10 meters out. Mahoney. A little progress made. One phase to the next. Hard to bring down, and finally the run from Busby comes to an end. Off the shoestrings there of Fischer. Back the other way with Noah. Again, the win will go to San Diego. Seattle looking for a 4th try. They're not going to get it. And San Diego is a souvenir ball away from no doubt putting an end to this one. I say that, and another infraction here. They're going to call for another scrum for Seattle.
Going deep into extra time on week 1, game 1 for both of these 2 teams, and you know it was going to be a battle. Seattle, unfortunately, scoreline not reflecting exactly how much effort they put into this game, but a great job finishing in this fashion. Never say die attitude for this team, and a long road to that MLR Shield final.
19 second half points for Seattle. They're looking for at least 5 more. And they'll get a reset here. Again, we will continue to play rugby as long as Seattle can stay clean, or as long as San Diego continues to give them second chances. It was this scrum we mentioned produced 11 tries last year to lead the league for Seattle. Some new faces in the mix. Gallagher at scrum half, coming over from Dallas. Creel still with some gas in that tank. The Legion reserves playing for some pride here with the win already locked up. Boucher, who got the scoring started. Seawolves finally in and will find their 4th try. It's a brace in the second half from those men up front, as Jesse McHale able to secure that bonus point.
Never say die added from Seattle. The forward pack just getting it done, and right here the offload in the tackle. 2 for the substitute hooker, and Jesse McHale just on a hot line, and eventually they were going to break through that San Diego defense. You just love to see the resiliency on this team. Seattle, a championship brand on their name, and they just did a great job battling back here in this second half. Long season to go. They've got a different team members coming in here trying to play a different pattern of ball, but nice job in the second half battling back. Too big of a mountain to climb up, but something to be proud of as they end this match.
Again, able to capitalize on a San Diego team playing down a man. At 4 second half tries for Seattle. Next up, it doesn't get any easier. Again, after this next weekend off, they'll go to Houston to take on the SaberCats, who are licking their wounds. But the Legion return to Torero Stadium and return to the win column with a victory against Seattle.
Pretty incredible victory from San Diego against a very physical, big Seattle team. You just got to talk about their overall game effectiveness from 1 through 15. They just connected everything together. They had a great platform from the forwards, and then the backs just expressed themselves on the outside.
Let's take a look at our moment of the match in this one. So many memories made. Again.
Let's take a look at it out the side, and look at the skills on the edge. Dancing in the 5-meter channel on the outside. James, a little shimmy and a step getting it through, but that ball touched everybody's hands in that back line. Great execution, great skills to release the winger for the overlap on the edge, and just a wonderful try there. His second from James, and he's absolutely ecstatic. San Diego Legion looking strong.
A brace for Ryan James. That was also the 4th try for San Diego, locking up a bonus point. They take 5 points to add to the table. When we come back, we'll talk to our player of the match.
I can't tell if